Good evening. November 19th is upon us, and I wanted to get at least one pod tested tonight. This might be the only one. My stomach just was kind of off today. I didn't work, and I ate 3 slices of peanut butter toast with a jam I made last night. 7-pot primo peppers, Cortland apples, and fresh squeezed lemons. It's fairly spicy. It wasn't that spicy. It was just my metabolism's fairly slow because I didn't work today and just didn't eat the right kind of stuff all day. I've been trying to stay hydrated too. I felt dehydrated, so just been trying to keep up. I just got done eating a little bit ago, and so yeah, we're gonna be testing this. This is a Trinidad Scorpion Morouga Yellow, looking true to form. Morougas tend not to have quite as much of the pimply look to them as the brain strains, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they are very bumpy. I think it has to do with the stressed conditions that they're grown under. I've noticed a direct correlation of heat with how bumpy they are. I think that the capsaicin, the sheer amount of it, affects the growth habit of the pepper itself, and so that the really super hot ones are always really nasty, bumpy looking, and the not quite as hot super hots like this doesn't look like it's I mean, it's still going to be hot, I can tell by looking at it, but not ridiculous. So I'm going to cut this open. Excuse the commotion in the background. It's family time, cleaning and entertaining, so yeah, I didn't feel like dragging all my shit in the other room to set up shop, so yeah. Okay, so taking a look inside, it's glistening. I'm not sure if it's with oil or if it's just shiny. It kind of looks like it's just shiny, but if you look at this placental tissue, it's pretty brown and it looks slimy. So yeah, I don't mean slimy like bad, but it just looks slick. Yeah, so I'm going to take the seeds and I'll be back at you shortly. Okay, so extended period of time later, I'm back. And here's the results. I actually took halves, if you'll notice. They don't line up from the 2 different peppers that Dan sent me. So here's this. This is the one I'm going to be eating. And here's the other half. So here's my 2 yellow Morougas. The smaller one that I was thinking about eating, it was a little bit softer. Once I cut this bigger one open, it has a nicer look to it, with a little bit more firmness left in the texture. So I'm combining the 2 halves to make 2 wholes. Alright, Trinidad Scorpion Morouga Yellow. Thank you, Dan. And now, my jaw's tingling in anticipation, so let's get started. Sweet and tangy. Got a little bit of a musky edge to it. Fruit flavor, similar to other yellow super hots. Really heating up in the mouth big time. Oh, this one's real gonna be hot. Sweating. A little bit of that potpourri. Maybe a bit of soap like. To be honest, it's not entirely unpleasant with this one. Starting to jab in the throat pretty hard. I feel my whole face just sweating. Feel it warm behind my ears. Oh man, my head's feeling damp already. Picking up in the mouth, whole back of the tongue, and a sharp focus underneath. It's picking up in the throat pretty quick here too. Whew. Lots of drool happening. At this point I can still taste it. It's not building so fast that it's taking my breath away. It's always with the reds that I notice that, and the chocolate ones. With a couple exceptions on the chocolate ones. Chocolate butt is one that just kicks my ass. The 7-pod brown that I had last year from Todd, that one just wrecked me. I'm glad I didn't eat the whole pod for that one. Although, with my tolerance level this year, I'm sure I could pull it off now. But it would definitely still kick my ass. All these red ones, these super hots that Dan's been sending me. Yeah, it's building pretty good on the tongue. Into the throat. Underneath the tongue is catching up to the top of the tongue. Building in the throat, it's a pretty sharp sting right in here. But again, it's not as bad as the red ones. Oh, we'll see in a minute. Okay, so that last swallow kicked it up a little bit more. Rough. My eyebrows are wet. Wow. Yeah, this one's giving me a good sweat, that's for sure. I noticed with the super hot, the yellow ones in particular, or the ones, you know, like 7 to 858, 900,000 Scovilles. And the quality of the burn is a little bit more manageable. My whole tongue feels swollen now, though. It's still damn hot. Yeah, and with this yellow super hots, I notice I tend not to need to spit as much. It doesn't produce as much drool or mucus. I'm still drooling like crazy, but it's not as much. Back of the throat now is throbbing. It's a lot more noticeable than the mouth. Although when I start talking again, the mouth takes over with the burn. It's pretty damn hot, but it's a lot more talk-throughable than the red super hots. Those ones just kick my ass every time. I've been nursing a respiratory infection for, I think it's been over a month now. Top of the tongue feels like it's swelling up towards the roof of my mouth, and the sweat just keeps coming. Yeah, we're pre-winter here up in Michigan. There's snow on the ground, but probably not going to stay. So the heat's on, so it's a pretty good temperature in the house. And so that's probably contributing to the more sweat on the head here. Sides of the tongue, got a good little sting happening right at the back. It's kind of swirling around it. The tongue comes up, spikes on the top, comes down, dips underneath, kind of flashes underneath the tongue, comes up. Throat's calming down a little bit. It seems like it's peaked. It's not diminishing really much, if at all, yet. But it's just kind of plugging along at a strong level here. I'd probably put this one close to 1 million, probably a similar level to the standard red Dshlogg, maybe a little bit under. This seems like it's hotter than the yellow 7s I've had before, but not by much. Nowhere near as hot as the red Morouga. Those things are just absolutely astounding with the heat level. I think I ate like a half of the. I don't even remember when Todd sent me a couple of those, a couple butch teas, and peach habalokia like June of last year, and the Morougas were tiny. I mean, they were like the size of a marble, but I think I only tried a half. I don't think I cut it into quarters with that one, but it was just totally insane heat level with the yellow one. Even with this whole big pod with the, it's not reaching, well, in a sense it is just because of the volume, but if you go by burn concentration, I would say that the red Morouga trumps this one by quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna duck out for 5 minutes or so here, and we'll see how we're going. Okay, we're back about 10 minutes later with the Trinidad Scorpion Morouga Yellow from Dan. Yeah, faint little bit is still happening on the lips. Back of the tongue, I got just a little bit. In the roof of the mouth, same thing. When I swallow, not really much going on in the throat. good all the way down and sitting well on the stomach. I did have some half and half before this video, and I also made myself an on-the-fly curry. So yeah, that was my meal beforehand. New good buffer meal. So yeah, sitting well on the stomach. I might do another one tonight here. It's not quite 7:30. I work tomorrow, but hey, it's all good. Yeah. Thank you, Dan, and thanks guys for watching and listening to my ramblings about my dinner. Alright. Peace out, guys. I'll see you around.